Good morning, everyone. Today's Thursday, July 27th, 2023, and we're here for a work session. And as always, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Ken, can you please take the lead?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Ken. And we have a few announcements today. As a reminder, tomorrow, Friday, July 28th, is our next Alive on 25 festival on Main Street. And we encourage everyone to attend and come out from 5:30 to 9 o'clock in the evening and enjoy the bands and all the multiple stages, foods, and there's going to be craft beers and vendors and outdoor dining. And we hope that everyone will be able to attend.
They can't hear me.
So next.
And the weather looks good too.
Yeah, weather looks absolutely great. And next, most of you are aware that we're under, this area is under heat advisory, so we're gonna open up the two cooling centers. The first one will be at the senior center, and that's at 60 Shade Tree Lane in Aquabar, and that will be between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And the second location is the Riverhead Free Library. It's located at 330 Court Street in Riverhead, and it's going to be open today until 8 p.m. and tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The town beaches at Wading River, Reeves Beach, Iron Pier, and South Jamesport will be staffed with lifeguards until 6 p.m. today and tomorrow. And residents are encouraged to check on the elderly and their pets, as it's the right thing to do for that vulnerable population. And lastly, please be advised that on Tuesday, August 2nd, and Wednesday, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., the northernmost section of First Street parking lot will be closed, and we are asking drivers to please seek alternative routes and plan accordingly. And we're going to move on to our first discussion today, which is Cindy Clifford. Actually, you had an announcement?
Yes,
Did
I
you
have an
wanna-
announcement.
Good.
So, this concerns yard sales. I see when people are doing yard sales, when they're over, they're throwing everything out on the street. Please, if you have clothing, donate it to the Salvation Army, bring it to the Baptist Church on Northville Turnpike. Big brothers and sisters will take all kinds of china and any kind of kitchenware that you couldn't sell. I think that's important. And one other thing, here's a tip if you're doing yard sales. Yeah, it's a garage sales. It says garage sale really big, and then you put the lettering at a ½ inch, nobody can read it. Make that half the size of garage sale, so when people are, when they're driving, they're not slowing down or practically stopping. All right, that's just a tip, but please donate what you're not selling. Thank you.
Is that tip?
And get a permit.
And get a permit.
And get your signs down when the yard sale is.
Yes.
Yes, and it's up to you to get your signs down when the yard sale is over, otherwise code is out looking for you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, hopefully code doesn't issue a lot of those summons.
No,
It's a little bit.
Most people take them
And
down.
don't forget your permit for your lemonade stand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go to the planning department.
Okay, so our first discussion today is Cindy Clifford, and she's with the Anti-Bias Task Force, and they have a video that they want to share with us, and they're just going to update us on recent events. And good morning, Cindy.
Good morning. First, two things. Real good job on suggesting that people donate the stuff from the yard sales. That's so wonderful. And I also want to publicly thank Devin Higgins, who's been just incredibly helpful of coordinating everything for us. And she's always, responsive, and she's just stellar. If I had a business, I'd hire her.
You can't take it from me yet.
First of all, I'd like to read our abbreviated mission statement, so you guys understand there's a really long mission statement in the bylaws, but this is in essence how we feel that we serve the town. The Riverhead Anti-Bias Task Force is here to guard against the impacts of bias, to support and to assist anyone whose appearance, beliefs, lifestyle, or heritage poses a threat to their well-being, and to encourage the understanding that, for as we all may appear to be different, we're all very much the same. Hit it, Chip.
Hit it, Chip.
Roll.
On a summer night in July, Riverhead came together for a giant block party where everyone was invited, and we all showed up. We came with friends, or met up with friends, and even ran into some we hadn't seen for far too long. It was a great night for Riverhead. No us and them, just all of us out for fun. For a date night, dancing in the street, or something just as sweet. People of every age and at every stage. Some of us were making art, some sharing and shopping for art, some of us even wearing art. You don't get to do that every day. We reached for the stars on a street filled with best friends, dear friends, friends with shared history or making history. We ran into neighbors, some meeting off our blocks for the first time. This was a great night for us. This is Riverhead at its best. A night shared shoulder to shoulder with the people who share our hometown. All of us different, but the same. We came to Main Street searching for fun, for laughs, for music, and for food. And finding all of it. It was a great night for ice cream lovers. And soccer players, and little rockers, and roller derby queens, and everyone smiling. Well, almost everyone. This is Riverhead at its best. A night to celebrate and enjoy where we live and who we live alongside. With a backdrop of buildings that have stood for centuries, we made a little history of our own. Together, we shared the street, the fun, the food, the friends, as the fireworks like happiness lit up our faces. Look, this is where we live. This is Riverhead.
Great, we put that on our Facebook.
You can do whatever you want.
Very nice job.
Miranda Gatewood took the pictures
Great job.
for the bid. And when I started looking through them, I was so struck by how this was such an event that like represented the very essence of what we all want, right? And everybody out and everybody happy. It was, I get all choked up watching it, and I've seen it 100 times already. Anyway.
Good job.
Thank you. Having lost 4 members last year to opting out, and 2 huge losses of women who were always a core part of the fabric of the Anti-Bias Task Force, Louise Wilkinson and Sister Margaret, we're requesting the official appointment of our 3 new members and our liaison from Temple Israel, who each bring firsthand experiences and a willingness to represent marginalized communities. Through our new members, we can expand our ability to understand, to empower, and to assist our diverse population. We're also requesting the reappointment of our existing members, which will bring our official membership to a total of 13. According to our bylaws, the protocol is for an executive committee to review applications, vote to approve, then forward the applications to the board to be affirmed no later than January. So we're running a little behind. We also want to ask for a resolution to approve the release of payment for our annual book donation to the Riverhead School Libraries. The books have all been approved by all parties, and we're only now waiting for the funds. I just also want to review a couple of the events that we've done over the past year or so. The more notable, we do at least monthly events in the interest of both getting the awareness of the town having an anti-bias task force, and also to give people a sense of how many different pockets are involved and how many different, how much diversity there is here that we can celebrate and honor and commit to. In February of 2022, we had Dr. Banks host How to Be an Ally at the Riverhead Library. The idea of standing up for people that can't stand up for themselves or might be reluctant to seems very valuable. In April of 22, we had Holocaust Remembrance, inviting 5 speakers sharing their family stories and how the Holocaust changed the course of their family and their personal histories. In May, we did our second annual Community Street Painting Festival on Main Street. We have also done it the third year in a row. And it gives us an opportunity to, again, promote the awareness of the Anti-Bias Task Force and also to send the message that, you know, while we are all different, we are all essentially the same. We had a bullying prevention workshop last August. This year, Saturday, a week before Martin Luther King Day of Service, we held a volunteer expo, and we invited community not-for-profits to come. And it was a very successful event, and the library was so pleased they are asking us to recreate it. Every single community not-for-profit that attended wound up with at least one really great volunteer. So the idea of encouraging people who maybe have thought about it, but they haven't had time, or they're not sure what fits for them, to offer an array of options where you could, you know, work at the dog shelter, or you could work in the food pantry, or you could do any of these things that help strictly our community, was very beneficial for everybody. In March, we had a Women's History Month, a discussion with local women that have made history in one way or another. And we're looking at planning September and October. Now, the library's been very generous with opening their doors and inviting us to do a monthly social justice or social initiative program. So it's been fun coming up with the ideas and executing the events. So that's where we stand right now. Questions? Questions from the audience?
Okay, so I have just one comment, Cindy, and I know I spoke to you before the meeting.
Yes.
About this, and I know that Devin emailed you on this. In recent years, anybody for any board, whether it's voluntary or any committee, there is a process in place. And the individuals need to submit their resumes to the clerk's office.
Right.
They get filed, and we also notice it. We need to open our lines of, to the public. You may have your recommendations, you said you were making recommendations, but we need to open it to the entire public. So whatever you have, I would ask you to please just check it in, or have the individual check it in with the clerk's
Right.
office.
I
Clock
believe-
it, I'm not done.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, clock it in, and then we're also gonna notice it. We're gonna put it out on Indeed, and that's what we normally do. It goes on two places.
Okay.
It goes on Indeed, and it goes on our website. So we need to ensure that the entire public has
Right.
the ability to submit. And thereafter, we collect all the resumes, and each board member gets a copy, and they can talk within themselves. We can't talk with, obviously, in public, we can't, three of us can't speak, it has to be at least two, because then it's considered an open meeting. And then the board may decide, this person sounds great, let's select this person. And that's what we'll do, and I'm gonna direct our HR to notice it, and we'll be accepting resumes.
Well, when we spoke, it was my understanding this is moving forward from here on, because we have active members now who have been coming and participating. So just want to make sure this is like moving forward.
It's
Yeah,
gonna move
absolutely.
forward the way it moves forward for every committee and every board, and it's been like this for the last few years, where it goes to the clerk's office, it's open to everyone, and it's posted on our website. So we'll probably have it up in Indeed by tomorrow, and anybody who's interested, and
Yeah.
again, who's ever listening and you
Right.
wanna participate and be engaged, by all means,
We
send
do
your
move,
resumes.
everything that ever goes out in communication always says, these are open meetings, anyone is welcome to attend, and when we
Good.
have the meetings, anyone who is welcome to, that wants to be considered as a member can submit and do so.
Great.
So,
That's good.
yeah, and then the final thing is, because we are now up to, with our members and our liaisons, we're up to about 18 people showing up regularly. We would like to request being able to continue at the senior center, because this table does not accommodate 18 people.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I did check with Kelly to make sure that I wasn't overstepping and asking for that, and she said she would be fine with it if you guys are, so we'd like you to consider that.
The only thing is the senior, is that we were getting, I think, overtime for opening and closing the senior center, where you don't have it here in the town boardroom.
Right.
So
And
that
I mean, if
was
we
the
can
only
make that allowance,
stipulation.
maybe take it out of our budget.
Isn't he usually working?
Oh, is Carl there anyway doing like usually doing the
Well,
custodial
then he's
work.
off, he's on vacation, it's not gonna
Yeah, but I mean, if we can
yeah.
look into that, it's just, you know, it's 2 hours a month.
Yeah, that's
And-
something that we can discuss, but
Okay.
we also have to let the senior center know. We have a director there.
Yes,
So that's.
Kelly Tochi.
Yeah, and
Yes.
we need to engage, yeah. So I think, Eric, would you please come up?
Yeah,
We're
that's
also
what I
gonna
was
be
just
moving
gonna
to the
say.
new town hall, which is gonna
Yeah,
accommodate.
well, at that point, when we have 18
Right.
seats around, because we like to sit, as Ken will tell you, we like to sit in either around a large table or around, like, just in a big circle, so everyone is having the conversation face to face, rather than, you know, it being in rows. So if we have any overspill now, we're just in trouble. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
With the
You might,
library,
you might only be 2 meetings away from doing that in the new
That's it.
facilities.
It's
Really?
happening, yes,
Great.
that quickly.
Oh, that'll be
will
great.
the library let you meet there?
I didn't ask.
Yeah, you might
The
want to.
library's open
may
late,
wanna
it's always
ask them.
staff,
But I've been.
but you've had meetings there, because I've been to the meetings.
Yeah, we have the civic.
Well, we
meetings
events.
there, And
Yeah.
the events.
You
yes.
have meetings
We've
at
got
the
events.
library.
Right,
Not
that's
really.
part of the arrangement with them to be providing these social justice programs.
So I have a question
Yes.
about the workshop you did on bullying. Where did you do that?
We did that at the library with Suffolk County. John Martin, his name is. Have you ever heard of him? He's incredible. He also does the stop smoking workshops. Really a motivating guy. Really makes you want to like.
Is the reason why I'm asking, is the school open to that at all?
I think we had.
Schools already have bullying by law. They have to have a bullying.
Is it as good as
taking
what you
place.
guys do?
I think he has done it with the school.
Okay, just-
I don't know, yeah, but if you ever have a chance to do anything that he's running, like, go to it, because he is so, like, exactly what you want, a guy who's fun and engaging, but you get the seriousness and the impact and the information. It's just wonderful.
Cindy, back when I was the liaison a few years back.
Yes.
There was a push to get diversity on the anti-bias task
Oh,
force.
yeah, we're still pushing.
How successful have you been, and what is the makeup of the task force?
You want to address that?
No, you
Okay,
Okay, all right. Right now, we have a majority of Caucasians, which is unfortunate, because we are trying very hard to reach out into other pockets. But I have to tell you, there is sometimes some resistance of people who go, what's the point? So, you know, we try to get over that hurdle. We are bringing in some people from marginalized communities and encouraging them to come. We have one guy who comes, he lives in Flanders, he can't be a member or a liaison, but he attends every meeting and he attends every event because he wants to participate. And that's the thing about having these meetings open to everybody.
Right.
We
Well,
want to
that's-
encourage people that when they come in and they see what we're doing and get a sense of what we're like, you know, we're a committee that really wants to move the needle, right? We really, it's not just have a meeting, talk about stuff, go away, come back in a month, talk about the same stuff again. That's not why any of us put our time into it.
And Cindy and I met with Riverhead Clergy Council to have a discussion with them. As a result of that, we met with Rabbi Roscoe, and we have a liaison from the temple. And now we're working on the First Baptist Church for them to get us a liaison to represent the First Baptist Church. So we're, you know, making communication, you know, with different congregations.
Yes, and we, you know, we'd very much like to have like representation from the Latina Committee or more
Absolutely,
representation. But again, you know, that's really difficult. Sister Margaret tried to get someone in and she wasn't able to do it. So, you know, part of it is if there is a language issue, but you know, we keep trying in everything we do, we're trying to reach out. I mean, I run into people in the grocery store and I'm like, do you live here? You know? So it's not for lack of effort, it's for lack of just being able to connect with the right person. But we're, you know, it's an ongoing process.
Yeah, I think that's very important, that it's a representation of the
Absolutely.
community,
Right.
especially on a topic like
Yeah,
anti-bias.
and we can't be sitting around going, well, this is how I imagine they feel, because what good does that do, right? I mean, like when we had the last meeting and somebody brought up a date, can we do this? And Harley, who's our liaison from the temple, said, well, that, you know, that impacts on a high holy day. And we're like, great, you know, I mean, so we won't do it, but thank goodness we had that instead of finding out later. So it's that kind of stuff, definitely. You know, we want the input of the entire community. And it's a hurdle. So
And I-
anybody listening today, come on.
And I know when you were on Roberto Ramos, who Sister Margaret had gotten on.
Yes.
The problem that we have with Roberto, he's very dedicated to it, but he has his own business, so during this time of the year, with landscaping and the stuff he does, he's working, his
Right.
income is more important.
Sure.
But I see him weekly.
Unless we want to pay him.
No, he still has his clients.
That's what was the huge loss of Sister Margaret, was the Spanish, the speaking ability. I think she spelled like 13 different dialects.
Remember that
of
conversation
Spanish,
we had?
you know,
Yeah.
dialects. And so she was amazing.
Yeah.
But I agree that it needs to be diverse. And I
Absolutely.
think we definitely need more Spanish speaking.
Yeah, we have no interest in like holding steady where we are, absolutely none. And you know, we also, especially these three new people that are coming in, the three new members, they're all far more active and energized than some of our existing members. So that kind of counterbalances people who just show up for the meetings and then leave. You know, we want people to provide input, to say, here's what we could do to reach out, here's what we could do to educate, here's what we could do to celebrate this particular thing. You know, again, like with Michelle and I trying to come up with things, sometimes it's a little bit outside of our frame of reference. And we don't want to miss the target. We don't want to have an event that people in that community go, oh, what's that, right?
Right, and plus the fact like that they're younger and the ones that are interested in being on the committee, and two of them were formerly with the town of Southampton Anti-Bias Task Force, but have since moved into Riverhead. So we're happy to have them interested because they were really active in Southampton Township, holding the big picnic that they have and
Yeah.
all kinds of activities. And one of the people also very involved with the LGBTQ community. And so she brings a different perspective.
She also works with people who have
Disabled.
Yeah.
And she
disabilities.
sits on the town disability committee that you have too.
The inclusion task force,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so that's, you know, so she brings like two perspectives that are very helpful.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so, Andy, again, I just want to reiterate, we're gonna post either today or tomorrow, and then anybody's interested, they have to go through the process.
Excellent.
And we'll all get copies and,
Can I just add, prior to concluding, is they've submitted, I forwarded to everyone, they are looking to purchase the books. I think with it being August now and being able to approve them, order them, they're hoping to have them to be able to hand out when school opens in September. So I just asked my fellow board members just to kind of look at that list and if we can do a resolution to purchase them. But I
I
will
thought we
ask.
got the approval, right?
Yeah, we approved
We,
it.
we all approved
Did
it.
we all
We all
approve
said
it?
yes.
Just need the
We just need
paperwork
the
on it. That's
resolution
great.
to go. But I will ask that those books, copies are given to Shore and Wading River, so there's a balance between Riverhead School District. I know it's an ongoing dispute, but let's just bring them to them and as a gift and provide books as well to Shore and
Sure.
Wading River so that there are two school districts in our town, so we just want to be fair to both.
Well, three really, if you think of the charter school.
That's right.
Correct, yeah.
We've got the charter
Yep,
school
didn't
also.
think of the charter school, yep.
You want us to go to the charter school too? Okay,
You can divide them.
yeah, we can just, and, you know, it's just like getting
mean,
more books. We
You
have.
haven't used the revenue in the
No,
account, so
no, we're not
if it's
close.
there,
We're
then just buy more
very
copies
careful
and share
with
them.
the budget.
Also, last year you got books, right?
This is our
Yes,
third
this is
year.
our
So
third year.
right, so maybe you can shift some off if
Well,
people
it's-
read them and
the
then.
No,
thing
they've
is,
they've
it's-
been donated to the libraries as part of their collection.
Yeah.
Good idea, though.
Let's try.
If
And
they
the
were in a yard sale,
librarians-
we could donate.
Well,
them.
I know, yeah. And then we have to get the authorization from the school district first before
Yeah.
we.
Right.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's good.
I think both have approved though, right?
Yes,
Shore
oh,
and River?
yeah.
They're both
But
approved.
with the charter
They just
school,
need the
we-
resolution to be put into the
Okay,
track
right.
to purchase.
Okay, good. So the resolution for the three new members and the liaison will go in and go through.
Well, we're gonna do the books. It's gonna take a couple of weeks to try to get all the resumes. We have to leave it
But I
open.
mean, that's already, for us, our perspective is that's way down the road. Like, we took care of that in, February, and then we did everything again in May.
Okay, so, but the members will be appointed and we have to go through our process.
Okay.
Because Carol was
Okay.
given everybody's application and
Yeah,
resumes months ago.
okay,
Okay.
we have a process open to everybody. Did you want to expand on that, Eric?
Yes, Eric.
Well, in what respect, the town board is the appointing authority, and you appoint members that you want to appoint. If you want to open it up to field resumes from the community prior to making additional appointments, then
That we
that's
have that
certainly
choice.
well within your right.
Right, but I mean, you would want to do that because you would want the community represented.
Of course.
I mean,
Right.
that's- I think
That
this is
might
the
be a
one
way to
I think
get
this
more
was-
diversity also, when it's opened up to the
Yes,
community.
absolutely.
Through the
Yeah.
proper
Yeah.
channels.
Right,
Mike Israel doesn't need to be on another committee.
right, so, have whatever members you say are interested.
How many vacancies do you have?
Right now, we
No,
have
right,
two
right now,
additional vacancies.
everybody's up. Everyone has an expired term, so the entire task force in itself is up for renewal.
then we
But
have-
there are some members, we have two deceased and two left, so that there are,
Right.
four
We have-
vacancies.
with
So how many
with the-
total are there
With
supposed
the
to be?
3 new members, right now, we have 13.
Okay.
And there was, one of the
15.
bylaws
We
had
had
20,
15.
but we agreed that 15 is the most reasonable number.
Is that in their, in
The bylaws?
in your bylaws?
Yeah,
15?
15.
15.
A
Well, I
lot
know
of county
Anne Marie,
anti-bias
Anne
task
Marie's the
forces are very
liaison
big.
to figure out some of the legal component
I'm
of
sorry,
it, so.
I missed
Anne
it.
Marie Prudenti,
Okay,
Does-
yeah,
does
and I
Anne
know
Marie
that
have a
she
copy of the
codified you
bylaws?
and
yes.
Yeah.
she did all the paperwork to
Yes.
codify
Yeah.
the task
I'll
force
stop
a few
and see
years
her
ago.
before I leave.
It's
And-
not, it's not in the code.
It's not codified.
It's not.
Oh, it's
It's
not?
not, no, it's just
What
a
was, Anne
resolution.
Marie,
2
what
years
was
ago.
it that you did? I thought you had done some type of resolution.
She did a
or-
resolution.
Oh, she did a res,
Yeah.
let her explain, that's,
She's walking out, she's had it with us. No.
I doubt that.
I know you worked on this about 3 years ago, Anne Marie, I believe? Well,
Yes, it was a resolution. For a
Oh,
period
right.
of time, the town board will probably recall, the anti-bias committee was dormant.
right.
So when it was resurrected, revitalized, the town board adopted a resolution. It made clear it's 15 members. It also made clear that it superseded that portion of the bylaws because years ago, in the earlier version of the anti-bias task force, the then town board actually approved the bylaws. So in the present resolution that dictates, it stated, as to appointment of members, the town board is superseding the bylaws and retaining its standard procedure of appointing volunteer members to committees.
Okay,
The only thing I think that might ask the board members to consider is that appointing everybody for a one-year term, I just think it's, the whole
Should
committee's too
alternate.
much. I think that maybe we need to extend it to 2-year terms, but some starting for 1 year.
Staggered.
So that we're not faced with entire committee up for
Yeah.
reappointment every year.
That's how most
So
of the other
I think
committees
we
are.
need,
Yeah,
we
it
need
just makes more
to, we need to
sense.
stagger
Yeah.
them. So not to, maybe some of you can be appointed like as of, let's say, January 1st, as, in the fiscal year, right, calendar year, for 2 years, and others for 1 year, and then then everyone will thereafter go for 2 years. You know what I mean? So you're not, the whole
No, that
committee
makes
is
more
not up
sense,
for.
it does, yeah.
Yeah. So you have some continuity. So if somebody decides they don't want to continue, there's still continuity
And you
there.
also don't want to have to start from 0 at any given point.
Right.
Right, yeah. Okay. All right?
all right,
Anything
great.
else? Eric, anything
Thank you.
else?
That is all I have.
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
thanks
Thanks
for
so
coming.
much.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Bye-bye.
If anybody has a copy of it.
Thank you, ladies.
Oh, yeah, can we get a copy of what?
Okay, for our next discussion, I'm going to invite our planner, Matt Charters, forward to discuss proposed code change for Chapter 301-311 regarding special permit noticing. And Matt, I know you're here. Oh, you're already here.
I'm already here.
Great.
How's everybody doing?
So, good morning.
Good. This is a fairly simple lift.
Okay.
So the current procedure for special permits is a little bit onerous. So when someone comes,
Man, you gotta just speak a little bit.
how's that? Better?
Yeah.
So when someone applies for a special permit at the town clerk's office, the way the code works currently is you submit your application and then you get a sign from the town clerk's office to post on the property immediately with essentially no information on it for a public hearing. So then once the town board adopts a resolution for a public hearing, the applicant then fills in the date. So you're running into a situation where a special permit might take quite some time to go before public hearing, and you basically have a sign with a notice that says nothing. So what this amendment does, it mirrors language from other sections of the code, specifically site plan review, that it would be a 7-day requirement for posting. So once you guys pass a resolution to schedule a public hearing, then it would have to be posted within 7 days. That's pretty much it.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
easy, huh?
7 days ahead of the.
7 days prior, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And then we're also requiring that it remain posted
correct.
in
Yeah.
the event the
Of an
hearing is
adjournment
adjourned.
with a new date.
And then put the new date, like replace whatever the hearing date was with whatever adjourned date.
Makes sense. More efficient.
Cleans it up, makes more sense, and it's consistent with the rest of our code.
Great.
And in
We
the
all
version
agree?
that you see, there's 2 letter Cs, so it'll go A, B, C, D, E, as the alphabet goes. I do have a resolution prepared to add to the queue if the board's amicable, just so we can get this on for public hearing. It's just pretty simple.
Yeah,
I
I'm for
support it.
Definitely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure?
Yep.
Okay, great. Don't go anywhere. You're next.
Oh, I know, I'm not next, but
No, it's not.
I have here, oh, no, it's gonna be you.
fire marshal.
Okay.
That's next.
Thanks.
For our next discussion, we're gonna ask Councilman Kern to introduce the proposed changes to chapter 231, fire prevention fees, and I know, Bob,
Come on up.
you had done,
Liam,
you had done,
Liam, come on up.
you had done a lot of research on that. and
Well,
worked
I
with-
didn't, yeah,
and
yeah,
with
I'll
the
explain.
attorney's office, so, hi.
Morning,
How are you?
Supervisor, Councilman.
Hello there.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Okay.
So after meeting, before you guys met with Craig, right, and just going through what our fees are and how many times you're going back and forth to buildings, blah, 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 the legal department did an excellent job of pulling fees from Nassau and Suffolk County, and so we went through all those, highlighted everything so that you had a reference. And I have to say, I want to commend you guys on, you were swift. I think I met with you in the morning, and I get stuff in the afternoon. Yeah, I mean, you're diligent, you really went through it. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys to, to say what the fees are gonna be. I'm sure we're gonna post
Sure.
those.
I mean, this is really a two-part thing. We do have to change the code to eliminate the fees from being in the code. And the way the town attorney's office actually helped us put this together, they'll strike that and just, with simple language, that the fees shall be set by town board resolution. And it's, so the two-part is that we gotta change the code so that the fees can be set by town board resolution. And then I do have some proposed fees based on comparisons with our neighboring towns, specifically Southampton, Brookhaven, that you guys do have to review, take a look at them, see if you're comfortable with them, and then a separate resolution would have to be enacted to make those fees, and we could just publish them, on our website or with our forms. But, we went through some of the stuff. Our fees were outdated. I can give you a couple of examples. For instance, we have a triennial permit, which is a permit that you pay. It's good for 3 years, so any business, lawyers, doctors, any business in the town of River has to pay $150. We do an inspection by New York State code. We only have to perform that inspection once every 3 years, $150. Our annual fee for, say, a repair facility was only $45, so it's actually cheaper to run a repair garage in the town of Riverhead than have a doctor's office or a lawyer's office. And we know repair garage is a little more higher hazard than some of those other businesses. So I think it was just time to come up to speed. Also, the town is growing. We're in the need to have, a little more help. I think to bring in the extra revenue will help our office, ensure the safety of the town and not be so much of a burden on the everyday taxpayer. You know what I mean? There's a couple other things that we proposed. And again, this all doesn't have to be done right away. We sat down, we did talk with the code committee about some of this stuff. We gotta clean up the code a little bit, but, Part 1203 in New York State requires mobile food trucks to be licensed. We don't currently do that right now. We have an idea how we would do it. Brookhaven actually does it. They have great success in there. And actually, when we do the inspections here, we kind of look at what Brookhaven's sticker is, so we would like to do our own eventually, to work up to that.
Andrew, just on that point, and I think we went over this, and I think it's a really good idea that the food trucks come to you, you do the inspection, you give them the sticker. Is that the way Brookhaven does it?
Yeah,
So
they
you're
would
not
come
out-
to the office or something.
Yeah.
We could have one of the fire marshals step out, inspect the truck, and then we can license it annually as required by Part
This way,
1203.
when there's an event that has food trucks, you know whether they have the sticker or not.
We're looking for our sticker, so it's easy in and out. When we do a live on 25 or whatever the event may be, we're looking for our sticker so that we know we've already inspected it. We're still looking for minimum safeguards, but we know we have assurance that it's already been inspected and it's safe.
So what do you expect for?
Fire suppression, a lot of them have fixed
Propane,
extinguishing. We want to make sure if they're using grease cooking, that they have a Class K extinguisher in there. It's a purple K, puts out a grease fire. There's other food trucks, say like a wood-fired pizza oven, they have wooden logs in there. We want to make sure that they have portable water cans because the best way to put out a combustible fire is with water. Just different things. The other thing we do is we run our meter through the food truck because some of these events, electrical
connections aren't available to all the vendors, so they're using generators. And what happens with the generators, sometimes you get carbon monoxide going back into the vehicle. We want to make sure that the proprietors themselves are safe while they're cooking in there.
How does this affect Live on 25? I mean, all these trucks have to come in and get permitted through the town? Have we
Well,
considered
it's
that?
either
gotta
that or
take
they
it-
inspect them, on site.
They
We
walk,
gotta
they
take
walk the
it-
street.
Right
Yeah,
now,
but
we
he's
inspect them every
talking about a
event.
sticker that's from Riverhead that's issued and an inspection.
Mm-hmm.
How does that affect the Live on 25?
So when those vendors come to Live on 25, eventually, once the code's changed and we do it, we're looking for that sticker to participate in the event.
Any food truck in town would have to be inspected by us, by the
Yeah,
town.
I would imagine there would be some type of grace period. You can't expect everybody at the first Live on 25 to be up to, with what we're doing, especially if we change.
What
code.
type?
You guys walk the street and you inspect these
We
trucks.
do,
You
yeah,
go
we
down and
inspect
take a
usually
close
every
look at
vendor at
everything,
Live on
so.
25.
Most of these trucks come from out of town or up west, so they're not local, but,
That's what I'm saying.
before we do any of this, we've got to look at our town code, because our
Yeah.
town code prohibits food
Right,
trucks.
yeah, we had talked about that
So
at the code
that's
committee
the
meeting.
first step we really have to take in this, to allow food trucks.
Correct.
into
Yeah,
the
and the
town.
state requires them to be inspected and
Licensed.
permitted annually. It's in Part 12 of 3.
How much are we talking possibly for the permit?
For the fees, let me see if I put down what Brookhaven did.
That's a good point, too.
Yeah, I think we should
Yeah,
have
I mean,
a copy of the fees
We're
here.
approving them to come into town, and we're also saying they're not allowed to come into town.
So,
So
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
gotta
that has to
clean
get
that
cleaned up in the
Conflicting.
code, and,
Right.
and we do allow them, so.
That we'll have to look at.
How do we do that?
We've touched on it briefly at code revision, but I think we need to,
I
our
think,
next
yeah.
meeting, we
Typically,
need to
I
think-
discuss
I
that.
think years
Typically,
years
they're
ago.
authorized, together with the special event that's happening. What we've been talking about is a Live on 25. A separate
Okay.
discussion would be, whether you can have a food truck that gets,
At the breweries, or
yeah,
the wineries, or
exactly.
everywhere else,
Yeah,
right, which they
separate.
all are.
which we know we have.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out how we're going to regulate
I
that.
think years ago, there was pushback from the restaurant owners that these food trucks could park in a certain location, and somebody else that's paying, year-round property
Taxes.
taxes, all the other things and infrastructure, and a food truck is just the quick collect and the quick sale of money. So I think that was the concern, was how do we balance between downtown businesses and everything about, is it just gonna be allowed, on private properties or special
Yeah.
events, but then how does a position like Brookhaven, allows hot dog trucks to find themselves different locations throughout the whole town? And I think that's when the disagreement came
Yeah,
with
you
some
may
of
want to
the-
be
some of
very
the,
specific on what you actually want with these,
Right.
the food trucks.
We have to be,
If it's
because the
related to
original-
special events, then that's fine, or if there's a valid special events permit, maybe permit them. You
Yes,
don't
I
want a
would
food
highly
truck popping up on the
consider
side of
that.
the road, it sounds
No,
like.
and that's why the code was done that way
Right.
originally, is
Yeah.
you don't want these dilapidated old hot dog trucks just showing up
Yeah, just
anywhere on
parking
the
somewhere.
side of the road. But many years ago, when that was done, the food truck industry has taken off huge, and it's very different than that hot dog truck on the side of the road, so,
Especially after COVID.
yeah.
the more elaborate vehicles, and I also do support it to be on different vineyards and other things where
Yeah,
breweries are
Yeah,
located.
the
Absolutely.
breweries
To
have
keep
them
it
sometimes
going.
come in.
People are
and
drinking,
things
you
like
want
that.
them eating, and if the owner of the brewery or winery isn't serving enough food, or if they want to have extra food, they should be allowed to do that.
Delicious.
I think that needs further
Further
discussion.
research.
Absolutely, that's not even really
Yes,
part
yes.
of what we're
But-
doing right now.
Good.
Sort of,
Again, just
feel
to
for what we're
reiterate, we
talking
did
about here.
definitely need to combine it with code. Might as well clean it.
Sure.
We
Right,
get into
clean
the
it all
end.
up.
And the
Also,
good news is, if we do change the code to allow the fees to be done by town board resolution, it shouldn't be much housekeeping to just do it later on after the discussion's made.
That's
We
perfect.
should also provide us with a fee schedule, just to get
I
a sense.
have one here for you proposed.
Okay.
I want you guys to look through it though, and just make sure you're comfortable with it. And obviously, if you want to
Was
change
that
anything.
provided to Devin, because she does,
I don't know.
anything we
I
have
know you
here,
sent
we
it
have
to
to
I
put out.
sent it to, I had an email chain going, I did send it out. I
Receipts.
apologize, I don't
Okay,
remember if
so-
Devin was on it or
so-
not.
the discussion.
She'll
I
put it
think-
back, she'll put that up there. And I would highly, highly recommend that you speak to the bid and look
Okay.
at the special permits and look at with the attorney's office and look at, with the clerk's office. because this is gonna resonate and people are gonna say, that, you know, they're putting hold on, you know, they're making it difficult for food trucks to come on 11/25. It's our biggest event, but it's
So-
just a matter of researching it and talking and figuring it out. But possibly the idea that you mentioned, that maybe a special permit, they get inspected because they got a special permit and they're included, it's workable, and so you have a little bit of work, but I think it's a great idea.
So this discussion today was really just intended to present the concept of changing chapter 231 to take the fees out and make them separately enacted by town board resolution,
Right.
similar to what we've done with the rental permit fee schedule
Right.
and the building permit fee schedule. This just sort of follows along that line and
Makes it
allows.
simpler, we don't have to have a public hearing every time we want to do a slight cost of living
Yeah,
increase. on
exactly, every
things.
time you want to make a, you know, minor change to the fee schedule or add something new to the fee schedule, that would still be done by town board resolution. This just gives greater flexibility to respond to those types of, you know, situations that come up. So at this point, the fee schedule itself is in kind of a draft.
It's a working
It's-
document.
it's-
You
yeah,
guys really
it's
gotta look
not-
at
it's-
it.
It's not finalized, because you really want to make sure, I mean, first you want to compare with other towns, but you also want to make sure that the fees that you're setting are more or less consistent with the amount of work that's going into them, right?
In the
So it has
interest
to
of
be
moving forward,
analyzed.
though, we can set up a public hearing to remove it from the code.
Absolutely.
And then the fee schedule
Yes.
could be adopted at any
Right,
point
and then,
thereafter.
so when you adopt, so you have the public hearing, and then when you adopt the change to the code, you can sign, well, you can, very next resolution, adopt the fee schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you should bring the fee schedule to the public, to a work session
send it
before you
to-
Yeah, I
adopt
think,
it.
yeah, I think
just to
when
let
we're
the public
comfortable, I
know.
think that when we're comfortable that it's, you know, final or close to final, I think that would be a separate discussion with the fire marshal.
Okay,
Correct. Yep.
good, perfect. All right, guys, be
Thank
safe out
you.
there.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
your work.
Thank you,
Really
gentlemen.
appreciate it. Liam and Andrew, appreciate it.
Okay, anyone else have anything to say? Tim?
No.
No?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I just wanted to shout out to Frank Mancini in the water department. They had a 100-year young
Bill Frank.
water pipe break downtown, and it really could have been a huge problem for a lot of businesses. But because of the way the water department has been doing things with the new hookups down there, we avoided a major loss of water for a lot of places, and these guys worked till the wee hours of the morning to fix it, and I was most impressed. Frank sent a picture of the 100-year-old pipe and showed the inside of the pipe and what it looked like, and a good cardiac surgeon couldn't bring that pipe back, so.
It's a shame you can't get
it-
200 years out of a pipe.
It's amazing that they've lasted that long, and it just shows the amount of work that needs to be done with our infrastructure. But kudos to doing it in the middle hours of the night where it affected the least amount of businesses and people, so thank you, Frank.
So Frank, you just got coined Dr. Water.
Dr. Water.
Even a cardiologist couldn't fix it, so
Yes,
now, you're now
absolutely.
Dr. Water, okay?
He's doing angioplasty downtown.
Okay, I think we're done. We're gonna go into executive session in a moment. I'm gonna ask the board.
You gotta
Read the resolution.
Oh, you got the resolutions, that's right. Resolution day, ah.
Resolution day.
Did everybody get a copy?
I
Oh,
don't have a copy of the resolution.
I know, because Carol's out, but I have a copy if you need it.
I can go.
I can bring it up right now.
Can you?
Scroll through.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you know what, I'll just pull them up.
don't you have to, well, you're gonna read them from the,
I'll pull them up here.
you're gonna read them from the.
She memorized them. She doesn't
I got
have
it.
to
Yeah,
read
well,
Oh, you did it right.
okay. So there's one set there, and I'll share with him.
Well, I'll pull.
You share with him.
Yeah, I can pull, I can try.
Okay, we're good. Well, good morning, Devin.
Good morning. Okay, resolution number 1, extends bid contract for well and pump testing for the Riverhead Water District.
Can I just interrupt you?
Sure.
We forgot to sing a happy birthday last week.
Oh, really?
At
I
the
mean,
town
I think,
board meeting.
This has been the longest birthday, though, in
I
the
know.
history of the
I mean,
town.
I'm tired of
It
my
was her
birthday. I think
40th
everybody,
birthday.
I
She
think
did
we
have
fully
a surprise
exhausted it.
birthday party,
I think
but
we're
I
good.
think everybody here should sing
Oh,
a happy birthday,
I don't think that's
right?
necessary.
So, join in. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Devin. Happy birthday to you.
As painful as that was, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome to being 30, Deb.
Thank you. Bob, you've never said anything nicer. Thank you so much. Okay. I think we covered that now. Thank you. Resolution number 2, Ambulance District Fund Balance Transfer. Resolution number 3, declares cubicles at 4 Second Street obsolete, surplus property, and authorizes sale via auction.
Can I just ask about that? No, and I watched the emails back and forth, but is there be any reason why we should store any of these at all, just for, once we're back over and we're in New Town Hall, are we gonna need any here? Are we gonna need any at the police department? You know,
Okay,
if
I'll
we're
answer
moving
that.
in, just so that before we sell these off, I mean, do we wanna keep a small portion of something in a storage
Okay,
container?
so the answer to that question is, it's a good question. PD has already taken what they need for their expansion, that's number one. Number two, most of the furniture that's here is staying here. That's number two. Number three is I had B&G very early on go through everything and to see if they needed anything in any other town building. And they would do exactly what you're talking about. They take it, they disassemble it and store it. So, in fact, what's up for auction right now is not even 100% of what we can get rid of.
We still have excess.
We have,
Right.
like, a lot.
For breakage
But
or
we
for
So
need-
like, for
replacement
even
or-
expansion over in the annex, do we need to keep any over there or
No,
something?
the annex is filled with them.
Okay.
But some of them are going to go because, until we're certain what we're gonna do with the annex, number one, we'll make that decision. But again, we're not getting rid of 100% of what we could get rid of right now. It's probably closer to 75%, but we need to clear out that building in order to get the construction done.
Okay. Thanks, Bob.
Okay?
I know you're working hard over there, so thank you.
He sure is. I give him a
No,
lot of
I
credit.
haven't been there in 2 months.
No, every
He's got
day,
new plants up in the windows already.
every day.
It's not my plant.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, resolution number 4 adopts a local law amending Chapter 263 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Rental Dwelling Units. Number 5 authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement with New York Analytical Labs, Inc. for environmental laboratory services, water quality testing services. Number 6 approves salary increase for an account clerk. Number 7 authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement authorizing the town to accept funds from the Suffolk County Office for the Aging to supplement the town's expanded in-home services for the elderly program. Number 8 approves fireworks application for Bating Hollow Club. Number 9 finance budget transfer request. Number 10 authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice for a public hearing regarding an alleged unsafe structure located at 16 Doris Avenue, Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-105-2-45 pursuant to Chapter 217, Part 4 of the Riverhead Town Code. Number 11 ratifies application for ESD, Strategic Planning and Feasibility Studies, funding for recreational complex feasibility study at Calverton Enterprise Park. Number 12, approves special event Chapter 255 application for Townscape Blues by the River.
I was glad to see this
Come
come back, and Mr. Warner putting some effort into this for sure. It's great. I'm very happy he's doing this.
Absolutely.
Ditto.
Number 13, ratifies the resignation of an electrical inspector. Number 14, ratifies the termination of an account clerk. Number 15, capital project number 82322, budget adoption. Number 16, Riverhead Sewer District capital project number 82227, budget adjustment. Number 17, ratifies the appointment of a seasonal recreaide to the Recreation Department. Number 18, ratifies the appointment of a seasonal recreation aide to the Recreation Department. Number 19, resolution authorizing legal actions against the owners, tenants, and occupants of premises located at 3795 Middle Country Road, Calverton, New York. Number 20, authorizes license agreement with Riverhead Volunteer Ambulance Corps for use of the Riverhead Senior Center Activity Recreation Room for EMT course instruction.
You just back up to 19 for a second. 3795 Middle Country Road. I'm not familiar with that location. What is it we're doing there?
I think we should
Talk.
add that to
Okay.
executive session if there's
Okay.
questions on it.
Okay,
You wanna
and,
add it? We'll add it today?
No, keep it, I'll
Oh,
find
you'll
out
just find out,
afterwards,
because we
yeah.
can add it, okay.
Yeah, we don't wanna tip our hand in any legal work that we're doing, but, okay.
Well, maybe you can send us an email too. 'Cause
Um,
I was just looking at it,
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Can we edit today, Eric?
Well,
No, no.
I sent
He
an
said-
email around a while back,
it was a while back,
about
that's
a
why.
week ago maybe,
All right, just resend
10
it.
days, something like that.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay.
okay, number 21, classifies special permit application of Jamesport Manor, NKA Diamond Estate as a type 1 action pursuant to SECRA, initiates coordinated review and requests lead agency status, 370 Manor Lane, Jamesport, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-47-2-3. Number 22, Water District Budget Transfer. Number 23, ratifies authorization for supervisor to sign PSA for plant, to retain certified environmental professional. Number 24, ratifies an appointment of a wastewater treatment plant operator trainee. Number 25, appoints a homemaker. Number 26, ratifies the promotion of a site plan reviewer. And number 27, approves expenditure of trust and agency account funds and community benefit funds for refurbishment of planes at Grumman Memorial Park, restrooms at Veterans Memorial Park. And that's it.
Why were the airplanes tied to the veterans? Okay, so restaurant,
Same grounds.
they're on the same ground, so we do one resolution for both? Okay. Because they're separate projects, right, with separate funds?
Yeah, but we're restoring them. So, yeah, so it's allocating money to restore
And
them.
I think the resolution addresses several different projects.
Yeah, it does, yeah, okay.
This is different than community benefit funds, correct, or no?
No, this is community
This is
benefit
community benefit.
funds. This is the NextEra, they owed us the second
Right.
payment. And Supervisor, actually, it identifies the resolution, the appropriate funding category for
Right.
each of the expenditures. And Grumman Memorial Park is a town park honoring the employees at Grumman and,
Yeah,
you know, the
and
aviation.
we're responsible for maintaining.
That's correct.
I'm fully,
And
yep, we're aware of that.
maintaining those planes and painting them is really specialized.
Sure,
And we've received requests, Ken
And Tessa's
Tessa's
been
out in the
working on
hall for probably like a year to paint them, maintain them.
The town doesn't own them though, correct? They're on loan to
No,
us
That's
from?
correct. That's correct, but we're required to maintain.
Understood, right.
Do they work?
Yeah, and
Do they work?
so to
Please
be,
tell him no, because he'll be up there buzzing around.
okay, so while you're at it, you have the, you have the rest, you have the
They
rest.
haven't flown in over a year, Bob.
And they didn't fly in either.
so it's actually,
It's very hard to land on the best of them.
the use of the funds in this resolution are for three different categories.
Okay.
The first is identified for the planes, and I don't have the resolution
I
in
think
front
it's
of me.
67,000.
67, yeah.
I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Then
Up
the second category is community welfare, and that's a playground and monies to supplement the ARPA money to complete the renovation of the Stotsky Park walking trail. Ray's long had this on his priority list, both those items.
Right.
And swing
Then the
sets and Wading
third-
River and basketball courts.
Then well, you already funded the basketball courts last town board meeting.
Okay, and the
that resolution.
bathrooms at
And then
Veterans
the
Park?
bathrooms are out of the environmental fund, which allows for improvements of park facilities and public access. I think the entire town board would agree, we're long overdue for bathrooms.
That park, to be serviced by a porta potty is unacceptable. The number of people that use that park on a daily
Yeah.
basis.
Absolutely, whether they're using the bike trail, the pickleball courts,
Right.
the dog park. I
Softball
mean,
field, you name it.
Yeah, I mean, we're really going to need parking very, sooner rather than later, actually.
That's why I question, you know, why are we getting this study done when we know we need parking that should go just east of where the parking is now onto that field? I don't need a consultant to tell me that,
Correct.
you know, so,
Well,
anyway.
maybe that's something the town board should discuss with the highway superintendent.
But I know we discussed the walking trail, but we didn't have initially $200,000 for it.
Correct.
So now
So
it's
raise,
higher.
correct, when the town board designated ARPA funds for the Stotsky Park Trail, it was 30,000.
Right.
And the EBCAL Trail was 70. According to Recreation, they evaluated Stotsky, and they believe they can complete that, and Supervisor, we have emails back and forth, they believe they can complete those repairs for 10, moving the remainder over to Stotsky, and the total project cost at Stotsky is just over 200,000. And that's gonna increase the trail, the width of the trail, and some length of the trail. And it'll really make it, it'll really complement all the ball fields, dog park, skate park, that's already there.
The trail at Stotsky gets used quite a bit.
Yes,
Often I go past there and people are constantly walking it.
yes. So,
All right. Thank you, Anne Marie. All right, anybody else? That's it? Going into executive session. This is going to conclude our meeting for today. We're going into executive session to discuss two different topics. The first one is contractual, the matter surrounding agreement between the town of Riverhead and Tower Point, and that will be with Howard. And the second matter will be personnel, it's matter surrounding possible change of status of building and grounds employees. And that's going to be with Bothwell, Dillingham, Coyne, Prudenti, and Bill. That's going to be a long meeting. A topic to discuss, and can I have a first and a second to go into executive session, please?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Everyone be safe, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at 11:25.